Hello and who's it, football fans? Welcome to an awesome episode of Football Extreme, where we're going to be talking local as lekker, DSTV Premiership. Welcome to the rest of the world. If you are first time hearing about South African football, I'm sure you guys are going to be enjoying the show. Nene, DJ, welcome to the world.
Yeah, welcome to another. Welcome.
Yeah.
So, to the Xstream Team.
Yes. So we're going to be talking a little bit of football politics in South African game right now, because the owner of Mamelodi Sundowns, Patrice Motsepe, is actually running for the presidency of the Confederation of African Football. So, Nene, tell us, what's the story here? What's going on? This dude wants to own a football team in the league and then decides, no, I want to own the whole damn show. I want to own the whole continent. What's happening there?
Look, I think it's just part of his dream, because he was the only owner that actually took, in South Africa, that took the CAF competition seriously.
Yeah.
And he invested a lot of money into Mamelodi Sundowns towards winning the CAF competition.
Yeah.
So he's conquered that.
On the jersey right here. That's what Nene is talking about.
Yeah, the star
right,
the infamous star on the jersey.
Yes.
So yeah, he managed to achieve that. And obviously the other step was to try and win the Club World Cup, which they've tried, and they were unsuccessful. And look, I guess now for him is to take on another challenge. And I guess, what else can the guy do? I mean, he's a billionaire, involved in charity. He's got good businesses. He's actually not that old in terms of age.
Yeah.
So he probably was seeking a new challenge that he can do. And he loves football. He loves African football, and hence why he invested so much in Sundowns to try and win the CAF, the Champions League. And so now he wants to run the show, as he put it.
Yeah.
And look, he took it very seriously. And it's also a competition that some teams don't take seriously due to the prize money and all the traveling involved. I mean, the continent is quite big, and it gets very expensive.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he's got some big plans for us to try and revive the competition and make it more attractive. So yeah, I mean, big ups to him. This is a big challenge, but again, he's a billionaire and he's got nothing to lose.
Yeah. Yeah, man, for all that he's saying about what he wants to achieve, actually what he has already achieved with Sundowns is very remarkable. Getting that first star on the Sundowns badge, putting South Africa on the map, first of all, winning the Champions League for the first time since Pirates did it in '95. So, like, as you said, next step, I think, is just like another goal. He made Sundowns into a continental juggernaut, because now every season they're in the Champions League and doing well. And so everything that he's saying he wants to do, like you told me once, that he's saying that he wants to make the CAF Champions League rival at the UEFA Champions League. So, and also what you were saying about South African teams not taking this tournament seriously. Maybe DJ, you can talk about the fact that Wits, very publicly, Gavin Hunt never took Champions League seriously when Wits were playing. He always had excuses, always talked about the travel problems and all the issues they face. He never really wanted to play. Kaizer Chiefs got fined and banned for years for not taking Champions League seriously. So it's only seemed over the years that Pirates and Sundowns have been the ones taking this tournament seriously. What's your thoughts on that?
No, well, I'd say that it's not that they don't take it seriously. It's just that when they go to our neighboring countries, the hardship that they experience there, they look at it like, I don't need this. I can just focus on my domestic league win there, because many times we hear that South African teams experience hardship. Even the time Peter Mosimane led Sundowns to the CAF, it wasn't easy sailing. They had challenges there and there whenever they were traveling. And recently, when Chiefs were supposed to play against White Dart in the first round before the weekend game, they did not issue visas to Kaizer Chiefs because they said South Africa is high risk in terms of COVID. So no South African team was going to be allowed to enter into the country. So with those challenges, some teams are like, hey, we don't need this. I can do without the Champions League and I'll focus on my own domestic league and win the title. Then if I go to Africa next season, I'll see then. But it's not a train smash, but we can win our own league. CAF, when we get there, we'll see how things go. So I think those are the issues that if Motsepe wins the CAF presidency, he needs to address, because South African teams, really, it's not a recent thing. Way back it goes, where whenever they're traveling, they experience a lot of hardships. But those teams, when they come to our country, we go to the ends of the earth to accommodate them and to make sure that they stay here is comfortable. So yeah, let's just hope that Motsepe, should he win, he just addresses those issues.
Okay. Nene, your response?
Yeah, no, look, just to add on what Bonga is saying, the challenge also, it's the return on investments that the CAF has versus winning the domestic league. So as Bonga is saying, you can win the ABSA Premiership, probably win the Nedbank Cup or the MTN 8, and you're probably looking at like almost 20 million rands. Whereas if you look at the CAF Champions League, you gotta travel across many countries, hostile environments, spending money on hotels and flights, only to end up with the same amounts of prize money. So if they can work on that competition being a bit more lucrative for the teams, where teams can see it as a way of, one, expanding their brand, so that they can be more visible on the African continent, and also increasing their revenue streams, be it from TV or match day, and all of that. So if they can come up with a system that will make it more profitable, then I think the likes of your Chiefs, your Vets, well, no longer Vets now, will actually, Pirates, they will actually take it more seriously, because Pirates and Sundowns, when they challenge for CAF, it's for the prestige, and for the star. It's not really about the money, it's just adding history to the team, bragging rights, or you're the best team in Africa, so it feels good.
Yeah, the star.
But when you look at the other, but when you look at the other teams, I mean Chiefs, they will honestly take it seriously if it's gonna mean that they're gonna make money out of it.
Yeah.
They don't really give a damn about the prestige of being the best in Africa. If it's gonna be attractive in terms of money, they'll be there. But if it's still gonna be the same old CAF that we know, then Chiefs will still continue not to take it seriously. And also the other African countries, where when teams visit, in terms of accommodating the players, they also won't see the need to up their game, because they're not concerned about maintaining any image, So yeah, but then again, the other thing is, on the African continent, even on this Nations Cup, it's always a norm that there's some hostile environments towards players, and you have to be psychologically strong.
Yeah.
In order to get into those. So if they can fix the prize money, then I think the teams will actually, develop some strength, to be able to handle all the hostile environments. But if you're being screwed and you're being screwed financially, then honestly, why bother? It's like you're being screwed twice. At least if there's a hostile environment and you're getting a few million US dollars for that trip or for that game, hell, bruh. The guys would go, hostile environment or no hostile environment.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it boils down to the finances.
Yeah.
It's not attractive enough.
Another issue, sorry to cut you there, is the broadcasting. Some games, when they're played in other African countries, we as South Africa do not have the rights to be broadcasting it to our local stations. So that's also another thing that CAF needs to look at in terms of the broadcasting rights of the games, because we can't have our team that's playing in our neighboring countries and we cannot watch it or in the stations that we do have available, because as you know, not everyone can afford to live stream some games. So I hope that they can address that issue as well.
Definitely. Number one, DJ. For me, he can talk all about improving the prestige of the tournament and whatnot. If we don't have broadcasting rights to watch our own Champions League, when we can watch UEFA Champions League without betting an eyelid, I mean, come on. People are not going to take African football seriously if you have to search on weird streaming sites to find Champions League football in Africa. First of all, it must be easy to find it. So he can talk about making it prestigious, or he must put his money where his mouth is. If you say that the prize money is an issue, then broadcast rights is also the issue that needs to be fixed. Because this whole thing of hardships in Africa, boo-hoo, bruh, boo-hoo. This is Africa, man. Pay the cost to do business. You think it's going to be easy to fly 15 hours to go to Ghana or go to Egypt from here? Come on. Remain here. That's why our team can't even hold a candle to the guys whenever we play African Cup of Nations. Because you dudes haven't even played in the continent all season long or for the last 3 years. You think we can win the African Nations Cup, but you can't even go play Champions League once every 3 weeks. Come on, man. Come on. Why do you think right now Bafana squad over the last 3 years has got so many Sundowns and Pirates players? Because those dudes excelled in the Champions League. Those dudes take the Champions League experience, they come back into the PSL and they win trophies. So this thing of African hardships, cry me a river, bro. Every Champions League game, the home team hits lasers in your face. You go to Egypt, you go to Zambia, you go to Tunisia. Home team is going to put lasers in your face. Deal with it. Score a goal, defend, don't concede, win the tournament. Pirates have gone far in the Champions League plenty times. Sundowns are doing it right now all the time. Chiefs lost 4-0 the other day. Vids seasons ago, Gavin Hunt didn't even care about Champions League. He did it because it was an obligation. And now people want to cry about it's hard in Africa. Boo-hoo.
Yeah. But that's why I want to say that this thing, Sundowns and Pirates, they're doing it for the prestige, as you said, for the star. The other teams don't give a damn. The only way they're going to be willing to go through all that crap that you claim is us being soft is if the money is good. Because in South Africa, it's all about the money. Okay. So if the money is good in CAF, then all these guys will toughen up and stop crying you a river, as you put it, and they're gonna stand up and play. Because why? Because the money. And right now, you cannot go through all that crap and hostility and still not get paid. just for the prestige. Nah. You see, that's the difference between Sundowns, Pirates, and the other teams. The other teams are not interested in that. Getting the star, not our priority. We want the money.
Okay.
And if they can, as you said, Fagimali Zobone, and the TV issue. The TV issue, I wouldn't say it's a CAF problem. It's the country's problem. Each country has a broadcasting corporation. They've got channels.
Yeah.
They've got the rights. And they can sell the rights to whoever they want to. If they haven't sold the rights to anyone, then we're screwed. Motsepe can't do anything about it. These guys in their own individual countries, if they want to grow their own brand, just like the Champions League, they're going to sell their rights to other people.
Yeah.
But because they do not want to do that, we're going to be looking for these games in these dodgy websites that you're talking about. Yeah. So there's a whole lot of stuff that needs to change, but each country needs to want this, not just the CAF president. Each country leader needs to want to improve the CAF competition.
Yeah.
And then after that, because they need to negotiate, if there's TV rights needs to be discussed, it needs to be given across the whole continent.
Yeah.
You know, we mustn't watch a CAF match just because there's a South African team that's playing. You know, we must still watch a CAF match between an Egyptian team and a team from Tanzania. We must still watch it, but we can never watch it. No way. And that's the problem. We're just hiding stuff. We need to open up and grow the brand, and we need to know what's happening in those leagues. Even right now, if we're to have a show about the league in Tanzania, how easy would it be for us to get the data that we want in order to have a proper show? So everything is just hidden. We need to just open up, and then everyone will get into the gear of saying, okay, this competition is prestigious. I want to play in it. Yes, it's hostile, but screw it. I'm going.
Yeah.
And that's what you want.
Okay.
So,
yeah. All right. So you were talking about stuff that that Motsepe needs to look into to improve the product. So for him, he hasn't got in yet, but it seems like he's got support. So let's talk about that. I mean, there's going to be an election held on the March 12th in Morocco, where the president of CAF is going to be formally elected. But does Motsepe stand a chance? Does he have support? Who are the people he's running against? DJ, what information do you have for us there?
Motsepe does stand a chance. I mean, he's been endorsed by the president of FIFA.
Okay. That's a nice
Mr. Infantino. So, yeah, why not? I mean, the guy has, as you said, he's done well at Sundowns. We also forgot that he established the ABC Motsepe League, which is doing very well locally. So, yeah, why not take his expertise and put it on the African scale and see what he does there? And, yeah, put Africa on the map alongside. Why can't we watch CAF games the same way we watch UEFA Champions League?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, and that ABC Motsepe League that Bonga is alluding to is the third tier of South African football that Patrice Motsepe has put his name behind, so that he is sponsoring. So that's also another way he's been putting into the local league here in South Africa, but just continuing to just increase the pool of professional players in the country. Nhlaga, for you to just keep on going in terms of what his chances are and also the support he has internationally from the other various federations around Africa.
Yeah, man, he's got the backing of COSAFA, which has 14 members. They've officially backed him to be president. And the other guys also that Bonga mentioned, the two guys that were running against him, it seems as if that they're going to be his deputy. They're going to be his deputies, and which means he's the only candidate that might be running for the presidency. you know, on March the 12th. So
Yeah.
basically, he's already won the election, you know. So what he needs to do now is to probably just start planning, because I heard in his press conference that he wants to get a lot of stakeholders into one room about trying to package the, the league, you know, much better, make it more prestigious.
Yeah.
And the only way that can happen is if it's accessible, and accessible means broadcast. So if those stakeholders don't involve broadcasters from all the various countries around the continent, then it's useless. Secondly, they need to also bring in guys for accommodation, because that had been a bit of a challenge from time to time. So if they can start sorting out, you know, probably aligning themselves to certain hotel groups around the continent, that will be able to house some of the teams. Instead of a team seeking their own accommodation, there can be some form of a network that can help, so that the standard is the same across the board. I think that's going to help. So yeah, for him, for me, first things first is the broadcast.
Yeah.
And then obviously the accommodation and the logistics. Once guys can start moving around with ease, then I think it will make it more attractive for the guys, even for us to travel, because obviously, you know, you'd want to follow Sundowns as well if they're playing in Egypt, you know, and you would also want to travel much easier, you know.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like, oh damn, now I'm traveling. It's such a mission. You're gonna fly to Dubai, and then from Dubai back to Africa and all that stuff. So there has to be a way for us to be able to move around much quicker, the teams and the fans as well. And then that'll boost the economies, and it's gonna have a ripple effect. So for me, accommodation and travel and broadcast, that should be the top priority. And then the prize money will follow suit.
Yeah.
To add on to what Dennis said, the officiating as well.
Yeah.
Officiating in Africa is really at times
shady.
You can just see that this game has been rigged the way it is. Some officials just go out of their way to deny a team of clear-cut decisions. So that's also another thing that needs to be addressed by CAF.
Yeah. Yeah. While we're on that note of shady officiating, and also just in terms of the dark side of the African game, let's touch on it, guys. I mean, the last presidential election had Danny Jordan's name on it, and he had a whole lot of backing, and somehow he didn't win it. How? Why? Because the last guy in this job, why are we having an election in the first place? Why is there an election right now? Because the last guy in the job got banned by FIFA for what? For financial mismanagement, ethical violations. And there has been rumors and stories about the things that happen in CAF presidential elections. So what you guys got to say about that? Because with me, I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm not even sure Patrice Motsepe is going to win this thing fair and square. There's always seems to be some underhanded things that people are talking about surrounding CAF elections and the shady underhand dealings that happen with these things. Because Danny Jordan said it out in the open. They wanted him to pay a bribe, and he said no. And then he didn't win. What does that mean about the guy who did win? You guys want to say anything about that?
Yeah.
I'll let DJ go first.
Yeah, I'll put you guys on the hot seat, because I know me. I don't find this thing as clear cut and straightforward and innocent as everybody would like this to be.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see how it goes for Motsepe, because money is the root of all evil, and
yeah, the love of
if you are not willing to splash the cash, and then you'll be out in the cold on your own, and another candidate will step up from the shadows and just be assumed into the position. So I'm hoping that it does not come to that. I mean, this is a beautiful game. It does not need all of that. The politics involved there are enough on its own. So bribery and scandals and corruption, yeah, let's just hope that it does not come to that as well in this presidency election.
Yeah, well said. Nene?
Yeah, man. Listen, okay. Now, there's always stories that pop up.
Yeah.
Stories popped up about us hosting the FIFA World Cup 2010. Some scandals there. The Qatar World Cup, scandals there. The Russia World Cup, there were scandals there about underhanded dealings. But then the show still went ahead. So if this guy wins because of whatever, probably it's only going to come up in maybe a few years down the line. And by then, hopefully, he would have done a good job. He's a billionaire, so I don't think that is there to steal the money. I honestly think he is there to improve the game. Whether he does some underhandedness in order to win, as in bribing a couple of officials, I don't think so. He's already a billionaire. He honestly doesn't have to do this thing. I think he's doing this because he loves the game and he wants to get involved. And the African continent actually needs someone like him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think he's desperate to get the role that he actually needs to start doing some funny stuff. So for him, I look at it and say it's all clean. And if he does have to give some underhandedness, some under the table envelopes, I think he'd actually walk away. If I look at his image, his brand, it's not really associated with that type of behavior.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm just hoping that it's all neat. If he does win, perfect. He can clean all the nonsense that was happening at CAF. And if the other guys are saying to him, you need to give us something for us to vote for you, then I think he can just walk away because he actually doesn't need to do this.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, I do echo your sentiment because I'm looking at this from the point of the guy who has been fired technically was reinstated by the Court of Arbitration for Sports. So Ahmad was removed by FIFA from his presidential seat of CAF because he was found guilty of ethical violations, of financial misconduct. And the guy went to court and got his job back. Now, I'm not sure, I think he was supposed to have gone to court on the 2nd of March, 3rd of March, so maybe he's already had his court proceeding by the time this episode airs. But if that guy has been found to have ethical violations, he's in the seat of power, meaning his fingers run deep. And he still wants to keep his job. And right now, at this moment, the Court of Arbitration for Sport has said he may run. I think FIFA has final say of whether he's going to be in or not. But if that guy who has been found to have ethical violations surrounding money is still in the presidential race, then Patrice Motsepe has problems. Patrice Motsepe has problems in what he hopes to achieve. Because I agree with you. He doesn't need to grease the wheels to get a position. He's a billionaire. He doesn't need to be greasing the wheels. He doesn't need to involve himself in all of this. He genuinely, I believe the rhetoric that he's dishing out because he's been the president of Sundowns and he has put his money into the team to make sure that the team wins. And then he put his money into the team, making sure that they go into Africa and do the nation proud. And then they came back with the star. And then they are still winning up till now. And he's even said if he wins, the presidential seat, he's going to step down as president of Sundowns, because you cannot be a president of a team and be involved in CAF as an executive. So he's already said that if I win, I will step down as president of Sundowns and hand over my position. So I'm only saying that there has been a history of financial misconduct in presidential elections. And the guy who's suspected and has already been removed from his seat for financial misconduct is still fighting to keep his job. And is Patrice Motsepe's chief, opponent right now. Because the Court of Arbitration for Sport is on his side at the moment. So I hope you guys are right. Any final parting words on your side for what's going to happen with the election on 12th of March?
Interesting times ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Patrice Motsepe, who is looking to reform African football in the whole continent. And you have his predecessor, who was removed and reinstated. And I'm sure that he does not want to relinquish that seat as well.
Yeah.
And he'll have a point to prove. So, yeah, interesting times ahead. May the best candidates win. And may the best candidates have the interest of African football at heart.
Yes, amen.
And pure.
Thank you, boy. Thank you, boy. Nene?
Yeah, that's all from my side.
Yeah. Nene, your parting words?
I hope that the guy wins. You know, sometimes you always want someone who does something because they love it and not does something because they're desperate or they have to do it. So for me, the other guy, if he comes in, I'm not exactly sure what difference he's going to bring to the table, because right now, you know, in African football, we need basically drastic change. And the other guy stepping in is just going to steer the ship from where he left it before he was fired. I don't foresee him having the ability to change, or even the ideas to change. And if we know Patrice Motsepe, he doesn't get involved in something unless you know, it becomes something big. So for the sake of African football and us improving our own product and competing with the Champions League, because I think the aim of all this is for an African team to win the Club World Cup at some point. So for the sake of change and us being a force to reckon with, then I think, yeah, he will win. But if we're going to continue with this nonsense that's going on, then the guys will probably vote for the other guy. But I strongly believe, from what I've heard, from the guy himself when he's talking, he actually has a genuine plan for African football. And we can actually be proud of that. So yeah, my parting words, I hope he wins, because it's going to be really, really interesting to see the changes that he's going to bring. I mean, that guy is brilliant. I mean, he just launched a bank not so long ago, a digital bank, South Africa's first digital bank, and it's growing like crazy. So in insurance, investments, you can name it. So he'll make sure that the financial side of the competition is well run and there's no issues there. So yeah, for the sake of continuity, us in, competing against European teams, and also ensuring that our African teams are strong enough to compete in the World Cup, then this guy has to win the elections. Yeah.
Well said, gentlemen. Well said. Thank you guys for your time. Well, football fans, that has been our PSL entrance into the world. And I'm sure international fans, international viewers you've loved the introduction. We're going to bring you more PSL content in the weeks to come. Don't worry, we'll still continue to bring you more Premier League action and football around the world, but we decided that this time we needed to boost our own local content. So Patrice Motsepe from the Xstream Team, we really hope you win this election and you put African football on the map on the global stage. So football fans, see you soon on the next installment of Football Xstream. And if you liked this video, subscribe to our content and continue to comment on our videos. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.